Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Season 2, right there for you. Episode 2, right there for you. It is the Wednesday Night Wars, but I'm sorry, guys. We just couldn't do it with NXT anymore. Obviously, they're putting out the same product every week. Nothing's changing. Nothing's exciting. And I want to give some more time. We want to give some more time here at the Wrestling Paradox Podcast to AEW because they're putting on the better show. They're what's hot right now. So moving forward in season 2, for starting tonight, until AEW change or until NXT changes something, I don't know how much we could talk about them. What do you think, Chris?
I'm glad I don't have to watch that garbage anymore.
Dude, it has been so bad. I mean, do you want to switch over to Impact and maybe we can go a little who's doing better, Impact, AEW?
I'd rather watch extreme midget wrestling than
No,
NXT.
No, that's cool. I agree with you. I'm all about that. I'm all about that. And I'll buy tickets to front row. I've done it before. They've come down once or twice.
Yeah. Pretty sure they go down all the time. They're pretty top heavy.
Dude, we gotta be professional. It's season 2. I can't believe we made it this far. I don't know. We're gonna figure out something for you guys to fill up the time. But tonight is all dedicated to AEW tonight. And they actually had a really good show. What do you think?
I could have done without some matches. And I could have done without some matches. And I could have done with better writing, but we'll get into that.
I'm interested. I have a feeling one of your matches, one of my matches, and that was Conti versus Nyla Rose. I could have done without that in a heartbeat.
I could have done without the Orange Cassidy match.
I forgot he had a match.
Yeah, Angelico. I mean, it's a way to get Angelico on the show, but
what do you think of Angelico?
I've always liked Angelico, and I've always liked Jack Evans too.
Yeah.
They're always hurt. That's the only problem. They're always fucking hurt. But my biggest thing is Orange Cassidy comes off this big storyline, beats one of the top guys in the company, and then you're gonna put him in a match the very next week against Angelico. Like, I mean, I don't know. It made no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't see where they're branching off of that. All right, you know what? Let's save it. Because I have some ideas, and I think your ideas are better than my ideas. But, hey, that's what we're here for, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so AEW opens up tonight with Tony Schiavone in a parking lot. And I don't know, he's just fucking standing there because that's what people do. They just stand in parking lots with microphones now.
Well, he's looking for ring rats and used condoms. That's the only reason.
According to our boy Will Austin, there's a few of those circling our area down here.
Shout out to Will Austin. I was talking to him during his match on YouTube. CCW's first show was tonight on YouTube, streamed live, and he was live chatting with, and I was blowing him up. Hashtag clout chasers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was blowing
Wrestling Paradox Podcast out there, baby.
No, it was under my name. The only reason why.
But he knew who he was talking to.
Yeah, he knew. Yeah. And everyone that was on there actually watches the show because we see the comments and everything. Cha-Cha Charlie was on there. And I was throwing some digs at Cha-Cha Charlie. I was like, hey, wait, didn't I see that kid Will Austin say Cha-Cha can't dance? He was on some great podcast.
Yeah, baby. Oh man! See, last time.
Spoiler alert: he defeated Super Crazy.
Will Austin did.
Yes, nice. with one of my favorite moves of all time.
I swear to God, if it was a Canadian Destroyer, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, it's the most underutilized finisher of all time, the Brainbuster.
Oh, very good move. Yes, that's every time I hear the Brainbuster, I always think of WCW days.
Yeah, Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
So, Austin Aries had a good one too. He won with an ROH all the time.
Mm-hmm. I heard something about Austin Aries might be signing with AEW, or they want him to sign with AEW, but he's never gonna fucking lose a match. We saw that in WWE. This guy doesn't want to lose, so
we saw it in Impact.
Yeah,
That's why he left the company, is because that,
I
and he
don't
also had
understand it.
sexual harassment charges against him from Christy Hemme. But
Yeah, I don't understand a wrestler not wanting to lose a match. You're building stories, like this, like it's scripted, right? Like we predict the winners. He goes into every company thinking he deserves to win every match. So
it's shortcomings. That's all it is.
I see what you did there.
I mean,
All
you got to look at it.
right.
He's going into a even if the AEW signs up, you have Brody Lee, you have Luchasaurus, you have Wardlow, you have Lance Archer, you have a special entrant tonight, the Best Man. Um, it's a land of the big guys. So now when you go
Yeah.
down to Austin Aries size, he has to overcompensate for his shortcomings. So the way he writes is, I shouldn't lose a match.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Right.
But ironically, MJF and Jericho both pull up at the same time in the same exact car.
Both
And it,
losers. Both
both
losers
losers.
at the pay-per-view.
Yep. And they come out and both congratulate each other on their matches. Jericho says MJF will be a champ very, very soon. MJF thanks him. They both walk away and both call each other, what was it, losers? Idiots?
No, idiots. That guy's
Idiot
an idiot.
as they were walking away. It's just, I guess, are they building up for a Jericho MJF feud? Because it's weird because I know Jericho and Hager now have established their tag team. They want to go after the titles, and MJF is slowly moving away from Wardlow, I guess you can say.
I told you
So
that they were going to blow up the inner circle soon.
is that what they're doing?
I think that's
Is
what they're
this?
doing. I think because you're seeing like Pride and Powerful doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Jericho and Hager doing their own thing, and Sammy G's doing his own thing. I just don't think the inner circle resonated with anybody. I mean,
I
you take away Fozzie's Judas theme song. Like
mhm.
what if let's just say, hypothetically speaking, he used the break the walls down song,
Okay.
it wouldn't resonate with people. I think it's over because the fans sing the song. Sammy G comes out and sings the song, everything. But I mean, you look at it, it's not a really good stable.
You're very correct because I look at those five guys and I look at when they first debuted, and my first thought was, what do these guys have in common? You look at any stable that has succeeded, and they all kind of either look close, they're all either really big, really small. They're structured the same way. You saw it with the original NWO,
Mm-hmm.
very three over the big top guys. You saw it with DX.
Mm-hmm.
You had when they were younger, they were a little smaller, but they all kind of stuck together. And then they
Mm-hmm.
became, you see what Triple H has become. And obviously Billy Gunn's the same size as Hulk Hogan, apparently. I did
Yeah,
not
he
fucking know
is. He is.
that. I did not know that. But you look at Lucha House Party. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm saying you look at each stable and they all have something in common. The Wyatt family, the Shield. You look at the
You're
inner
leaving one out.
circle.
You're leaving one out. You're looking at the Hurt Business and
They're
Raw.
the Hurt Business, yes.
And it's
They
not
all
because
have
they're black. It's not because they're
no.
black. It's actually because they're athletic. I mean, they just added Cedric Alexander. So you have Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP. Like, they all mesh off each other. There's something there. They have chemistry to where when the Inner Circle, if you remember, when Inner Circle first debuted, it was just Jericho and Pride and Powerful.
And Hager, and
No,
then
well, they brought Sammy G in first,
yeah.
and then they brought Hager. So
I have
it
such a
was like
hard time
throwing,
remembering that, dude, because I remember
yeah.
Pride and Powerful debuting after a Young Bucks match,
Mm-hmm.
ripping off the presidential things, and then
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the next day we saw them or the next week we saw them at Dynamite, and it was uh, Jericho, Sammy G, and Pride and Powerful, and these are the five closest confidants or four closest whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. That was actually, I think that was one of the greatest promos that AEW's ever had on their show.
And if you remember, I mean, I'm kind of glad that this didn't happen. But remember, they were going to put MJF in Inner Circle.
Yeah, there was that little tease there of MJF getting in the Inner Circle there because they both hated Cody at the time.
Now, can you imagine? Well, it was right after MJF turned on Cody.
Yeah.
So imagine would Would MJF be as over now if he was in Inner Circle?
No, MJF is as over as he is because he's a singles competitor. He doesn't have that big team around him. I think the Inner Circle would take away from what MJF brings.
Right.
So, I mean, back to it. You're gonna have MJF and Jericho at some point getting together. And honestly, like the way it's going, I mean, do you see Jericho lasting too many more matches? I mean, how long is he gonna wrestle? Is this gonna be like a retirement match? Is he gonna be the one to retire Jericho, put him on commentary? Like, what do they get? What's the payoff if you have MJF and Jericho?
Well, I think now that later on in the show they established that Hager and Jericho are going to be tag team, I think what's going to happen is I think that's how you get MJF and Wardlow to split.
Okay.
You get MJF Wardlow versus Hager and Jericho. Wardlow costs them to win the match, and then you have a storyline off of that.
Yeah. I
mean, me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing a Hager and Jericho as tag team champs. Have them run a storyline with FTR.
I don't know, man. I feel like FTR is gonna hold those belts for a while. I don't think they're gonna drop them for a while.
And I'm not saying that they're going to drop it at the next pay per view, but they can go like 3 months, like 3 pay per views. Have Hager and Jericho cost someone the match because they want to face the FTR, so they're not going to cost FTR the match. They're going to cost the other people the match.
Yeah. Well, speaking of tag matches, that's what we're moving into right away. And that is Lucha Bros versus Lucha Express. Or
worst fucking Lucha Bros versus Jungle Express. Yeah, Jurassic Express. Worst match ever to start off the show.
You know, and that was something I thought of, and I said, I want to know how Chris feels about this match because Chris's biggest thing he always says, your night's going to go well if you start well. Your night is all based on that first match. And this was not a match that, you know, really drag people in.
I didn't hate it. It's not that I didn't hate it because I feel bad for Phoenix and Pentagon. I didn't hate it because of them. Well. No, I just don't like Luchasaurus.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing every day.
Well, like I said last week, he's too athletic for his build. Like, it's just like he's trying to do like Grant. He does a great standing moonsault. He's very agile, but I think he's too big for his athleticism. And when he does, it looks not sloppy, not too planned, but it's just his skill set, his move set, with him being so big and athletic, is very. Everything's the same way, you know. Standing moonsault, choke slam off the top rope, blah 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 blah. You know.
Now, I hate to go outside of the universe here of AEW, but do you feel the same way about Keith Lee?
Yeah, and I've said that. That was my biggest gripe about Keith Lee. He's too big for his, you know, he's too athletic for his build. I wouldn't have minded to see the like you said, it didn't mesh, but I would love to see Butcher and the Blade versus Jurassic Express to start out.
That probably would have been a better match because those teams are. I told you this when FTR faced Lucha Bros. I said I was not excited about that match because I don't think those teams meshed well. And I still didn't think that match lived up to his expectations. 2 big name teams, yes, but I don't think the match lived up to the expectations. It's like you said, Butcher and the Blade in this match would have been better than Lucha Bros in this match. There were some good spots. There were definitely some good spots. You had I don't understand how the match ended. With how do you accidentally give somebody a Canadian destroyer?
Yeah, it was kind of gimmicky. I mean, it was timed perfectly though. But it was very well done. But it was just gimmicky. It was hokey. Like Jungle Boy slings Phoenix in, kicks him in the gut, slings him into the corner while Pentagon's jumping down to do the Panama Sunrise, and hits it on Phoenix by mistake.
Yeah. I guess. Anyway, so after the match.
Okay, now this is what I want to finish the match because.
Oh, go ahead.
They you know, Phoenix gets covered by Jungle Boy, and then a big hoopla at the end where Phoenix and Pentagon get in each other's face. Eddie Kingston comes in and says, "No, you guys are brothers. Pentagon, you're my best friend. Your blood, blah, 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 blah. You know, shake hands, shake hands." Then he goes into, "I was never eliminated at the Battle Royal. Read the rules, blah, blah, blah."
Mm-hmm.
Here's my thing. Everyone watched Lucha Underground. For the most part, everyone watched Lucha Underground.
Mm-hmm.
Pentagon was a destroyer in Lucha Underground. He was like him and Vampiro. I want to say it was season 2. Was probably one of the best kind of death matches, no DQ matches I've seen in a very long time. And then that's when it came out that Vampiro was the dark leader, that Pentagon was, he was like the dark voice that he was listening to and everything like that. My problem is with what AEW is doing to Pentagon is, like, you have fans of wrestling that are me, you, that we see what Pentagon's done in his priors. We've seen it live, what he's done in his prior wrestling and everything like that. They're giving it like a hokey beef with his brother, and we watched him have a fucking great match with Kenny Omega, and it's like, man, it's just I think they're missing the ball with not having him in the singles run and having him hand in hand. Look what he did with Sami Callihan and Impact. Like, fucking great matches. I think they're dropping the ball with not having him in a singles push.
Well, if you notice before they shook hands, when Eddie was, hey, bros, yo, bro, we bros. Before Eddie was doing all that, Pentagon was the one to push Phoenix away and was like, nah. So are they possibly laying that seed for your wish? Because, if you're speaking it, in 2 weeks what's going to happen. It happens every fucking week on this show. We say something, and in 2 weeks it comes to life. And nobody says, oh, man, maybe those 2 fat guys with the beards with the awesome podcast were right. Because every week we're fucking right. So this is what Will Austin's seen it. Cha-Cha Charlie's seen it. Everybody knows it because they're all on this show. And when we talk about it and it happens, we get a phone call and they're like, yo, you guys were fucking right.
Yeah. Well, I think I have another take on it. The only way that I think they would break off Pentagon is if they have another title. If they bring in another mid-card title, I have a feeling. I have another theory for the TV title.
Are you speaking like a junior heavyweight kind of thing?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
Kind of like an IC. Well, it's an IC title. That's what junior heavyweight is. It's an intercontinental title.
Back in the day, there was an intercontinental and a junior heavyweight. Am I correct on that?
No. In NWA, there was. And in New Japan, there's a junior heavyweight.
I thought one of the – hold on. WWF, Pat Patterson was the first IC champ, so I know that was around for a while. WWF had a junior heavyweight title.
No, they had a light heavyweight. That
was it. I'm the jackass. You're right. I'm sorry. And who was it? Not the Indeed guy.
Taka Michinoku.
They dropped the fucking ball. Now that I'm older and I go back and watch Taka Michinoku and how he came in and how
Say that name one more time. Say that name one more time.
Taka Michinoku?
Nope.
Taco.
Taka Michinoku.
That's what I said. Taka Michinoku.
No, you
Taka Michelin.
You said it said a coup on the end. You said shoe.
But
you don't
drop the ball on him when he came in.
No one remembers that he was very big in Japan. He was huge in Japan. He runs his own promotion.
Yeah.
But I think the only way that Pentagon can break out as a singles wrestler is if they have a mid-card title, other than the TV title or the TNT title.
Well, back to Eddie really quick, because now we got that out of the way with Pentagon and Phoenix. Back to Eddie. Eddie's saying that he was never eliminated. Look up the rules. With Eddie saying that, and if you go back and watch a match, you any wrestling fan knows, if you go to the outside underneath and you make your way up to the top rope, you're then back in the ring. And then you get knocked off, then you're out. But he only made it up to the second rope and sat on the top rope. So that he was never actually eliminated. What I feel they're gonna do, and Cody, if you haven't made this decision yet, I'll make it really easy for you. You're gonna put Kingston in the match, and Kingston's gonna be the guy for Mox to pin, so Archer can say he was never pinned.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's gonna happen. And if anybody's watching, this is a spoiler, a Paul Heyman guaranteed spoiler, that's will happen. Mark my words. Cody, you're watching. I know you are. This is what they're doing. I feel it. It's wrestling 101. They can't have Archer take the pin. They want to build him up to be this fucking monster still.
Right.
So then we move on. Well, by the Thrasher scale, please.
It was like a 2.5. Only because
2.5.
Luchasaurus was in it.
I meant to say there was one part in this match. Well, not in the match, but after the match, you have Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus sitting on the edge of the ring on the apron, and you see like this person run up and like, ah! And I was like, who's that chick? It was Marco Stunt. I saw him along. I was like, who's the chick?
We can't put away the side that your biggest, your Jungle Boy's like biggest and only fan. That he went to go break up a pin and he jumped from the corner and actually missed breaking up the pin by like 14 feet.
What about when he went to go launch himself off of Lucha's back?
Yes.
And he slipped, and then he punched somebody and elbowed someone else in the nuts. I forget which one it was.
And again, now I'm going back and remembering this match and everything. It's how about like how athletic Pentagon and Phoenix are? I mean, Phoenix did a gory special bomb and a leg drop at the same time to two different guys. Like, it's, I just think they're like you said, it didn't mesh up. I mean, I like Jungle Boy. I just don't like Luchasaurus in a tag match. Luchasaurus in a singles match, perfectly fine.
It's like fruitcake. Fruit is awesome. Cake is awesome. Fruitcake, nasty shit.
I'm just letting you know. From where I'm sitting, it doesn't look like you eat a lot of fruit.
Hey, man, bitch, we're both down some weight. Don't try me. I'm down 39 pounds since quarantine started. So here is what I've been waiting.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Cocaine, a hell of a drug. Here's what I've been waiting for. I am going on record and saying Matt Hardy was seriously injured at All Out. He comes in, says he'll make a full recovery. If you look at how he was acting tonight and you looked at how he was acting at All Out and they cut the match short and everything, the guy had a full fucking blown concussion, dude. I'm sorry. You had Reba there or whatever fuck Rebby? Is that it?
Reba.
Huh? Reba?
Reba Hardy.
Reba Hardy. She's out there and, he's talking about his family. If he was cleared, Sammy would have came out and attacked him. That's not the end of the story. You don't end a story on a 3-minute botch match.
I don't know, man. I think you're going to see someone resurrected in the next couple of weeks.
We'll see.
The only reason why I say that, because they made a thing on BTE this past week. The Hardys came in. I mean, Matt Hardy came into the Young Bucks locker room and was like, "Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for blah blah blah. Thanks for the push. This, that, and the other." And when he turns around, and walks out, he's like, "That Young Bucks go like, he's really clear, like he's like too clear, acting like he's maybe acting like a different person."
This is why I hate BTE, because if I don't watch it, then I don't see this stupid shit.
Exactly. But it was like I said last week, it was the same thing on Impact. Almost the same kind of storyline.
We'll see.
And also, one big thing I gotta say is their child's name is Marty.
Marty Wolfpack or Wolfgang Puck, isn't there? Or something? What's his kid's name?
It's Marty Hardy.
Marty Hardy. I never put the two together. That's the first time I've ever put the two. That's awesome. What's up, Marty
Hardy?
What is the other one's name?
Maximus or Maximo.
Maximo. Yeah, and Wolfgang.
No, Wolfgang is his middle name. They only have 2 kids.
Only 2?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Can't
I
think.
think it's Maximo Wolfgang Hardy and Marty Hardy.
Really?
I'm almost positive. And you know what's
Huh.
crazy? You know what's crazy is when he first became broken in Impact, Maximo was around this age, and
Sir,
that's
I hate to shoot on you. There is Maxwell Hardy.
hmm
There is Wolfgang Xander Hardy.
hmm
And now there is Marty Hardy.
okay. So
He's had
uh,
sex 3 times.
so well, he's got three personalities, so
They
that's
all fucking make sense now.
no. So like when he went through the whole broken gimmick,
Hmm.
that's Maxwell or Maxwell was around Marty's age.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's why I'm saying that this is a complete work. It's a storyline thing. You know,
Deep down inside, I'm like shoot pissed off that me and you disagree on this because deep down I'm like, this fucking guy had a concussion and Chris is so goddamn stubborn that he thinks it's wrestling still. Can I ask
I
you a
do.
question? Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
Um, well, I don't let my anger get ahead of me anymore. I know how to control it now. It's called perk
Mhm.
tens. No, I'm just joking, everybody. But no, let me ask you a question. Have you seen the online backlash that his wife has gotten from her comments? And do
Well,
you
yeah.
think it's fair to her? Because personally, I don't. She's the wife. She's the one that takes care of the kids. If something happens to Matt and he gets paralyzed, dies, God forbid something like that, she has to deal with everything, not the fucking fans who are like, stay off of Twitter, stay out of AEW, it's your husband. That's not fair to her.
Well, you also have to take it and see who's saying it. She did the same thing in WWE. She did the same thing in Impact. It's almost like Brett Grimes' wife. It's the same exact thing. It's and
But
when you
football is football. Brett Grimes'
yeah,
wife was getting pissed off because she wasn't getting paid. If this woman feels that her husband isn't protected in the business, she has a right to be upset.
no, right, but when you okay, like for me, instant like
Mm-hmm.
take case in point. This is why I think it's a work. It's a complete like a storyline and everything because we've seen this before. She's acting the same way. She's never gone lash out on Twitter before until something happens, and like history has proven that you
It's
know
usually a work.
exactly.
I'm still deep down shoot pissed right now that you think it's still a work. I'm like, I just want to reach in this computer
If
and
it
grab your
was
fucking Orange Cassidy freshly squeezed head and fucking squeeze
if it
it.
was real, I don't think I don't think it would have kept going. Don't think it would have kept going.
Well, they cut the whole feud between him and Sammy. That's my issue with it. If they cut the whole
Yet
feud,
they've cut it so far. They haven't. So far they've cut it.
all right. What did you think of? Because I want to go into something a little different with season 2. What did you think of the promo overall with Hardy? Did you like the promo? Did you not like it?
It is what it is. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Like it just it it just didn't. I've seen it before. That's the thing. It's like the
Okay.
reason why it didn't resonate with me. I've seen it before.
Uh-huh.
It's that's why deep down inside, 100%, I feel that it's a work. I've seen it before.
All right. So let's move into OC and Helico, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
let you take over on this match because OC is your boy, obviously. A
Mm-hmm.
case in point, the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And you know more about Angelico than I do.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his move set. I
Mm-hmm.
thought he worked very well in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to watch Dark a little more because I want to see him and uh,
Jack Evans.
yeah, Jack Evans more.
Mhm.
So I might tune into Dark more for that. But go ahead and take
We've
over for this
well,
match.
this is their first match since quarantine because he's from England and Jack Evans is from South Africa.
Oh wow.
So this was their first time like back in the States wrestling. But we've seen Angelico live at Pancakes and Pile Drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but here's my thing. Like I said, Orange Cassidy just had this big feud, like huge feud, bigger. I mean, it take. I think it was bigger than the MJF Moxley feud.
Oh, I can agree with that.
Okay, I didn't want you to piss you off, but I just think it's.
No, I love MJF, but I think the Mox feud was based a lot off of the presidential debate or the
Mhm.
presidential race. And like I said it before and I'll say it again. I have a Raw bar right here. Either
Mhm.
you're below it, match it, or above it. AEW for the most part's above Raw bar, but
Mhm.
this fucking thing just felt like Monday Night Raw with that whole MJF and Moxley feud. But go
Right.
ahead, go see thing.
I think you just came off a huge feud, hot feud. I mean, look at what they did about a month ago when they did that debate. And he just reiterated, like, he just, like, spit out this facts. Like, da-da-da-da-da. That was the most over thing on that show. It
Mm-hmm.
was the most over thing on Twitter. Okay, then they have a match. He beats him. Then they have the mimosa match at All Out. He beats him. What do you do the next week on you put him in against a guy in Helico that no one's seen on Dynamite, and it's one of his first matches in the state.
Yeah.
Why not have him interfere in the TNT title match? He's your most over guy right now in the company.
Is he?
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Why?
I mean,
Why
I
not
can't
have
disagree
him?
with you because the ratings speak for themselves. I mean, they had a
Right.
million tonight, and I mean, OC has been on every show. I really can't argue with you.
Why not? I mean, you don't have to have him win. You don't have to. You can have him just get out there and get beat up faster than Cody. But why not have him? If he's your most over guy, like that's what. Like, okay, I know I hate doing this. I hate talking about it. But like Roman Reigns, everyone hated him, right? But they put a title on him because he was, whether he was cheered or booed, he was the over guy. Like boos get you over, cheers get you
Mm-hmm.
over.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Orange Cassidy steps foot in the ring, he gets fucking cheered. Like, why not have him? Like, and right now, Dark Order is the most over thing on AEW. So why not have the
Mm-hmm.
two most over things in the ring competing for that title?
Why
I,
are you gonna mash everything that you have in one segment when you can get two segments out of it, three segments?
but for me, I didn't. I only watched a little bit of that match,
Mm-hmm.
because it's. I mean, it's in Helico. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
After the match, you had LAX come out.
Mm-hmm.
I keep calling him LAX. I'm sorry. Pride and Powerful. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So you have Pride and Powerful come out. They attack OC. Out comes Best Friends. And Trent, again, looks like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's stood next to by the drizzling shits putting a fucking shirt and jeans. This guy, Trent, or no, Chuck looks like he belongs at a truck stop somewhere. Like, seriously. I'm sorry. Chuck looks not, again, like I said
Dude,
before,
he's our
this
guest
guy.
next week. I got him
Is he real?
I got him as an interview next week. So you
Well,
better.
we just lost that interview, pal. um, with AEW, we can actually, if we can, we can get some of the wrestlers on our show because WWE is not allowed, but AEW is.
Mm-hmm.
Miro, we're coming for you. Oh wait, they don't know he's here yet. Shit,
Right.
I'm sorry, guys.
No one knows who Miro is. So I can let you know that right now. Before Wednesday, no one knew what Miro was.
Dude.
They thought it was a pasta on the spaghetti sauce aisle at Publix.
I want to talk more about that. Anyways, because I have some things I need to get off my chest with Miro and FTR, and now they're under the same roof. But anyway, so next Dynamite we have Best Friends versus LAX in a parking lot brawl.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of the match with OC and?
It was I think it was about a 2.5, three-star match. Like OC looks like a fucking $1,000,000. Like I don't care if no one likes that gimmick, but once he turns on, he's a fucking pure wrestler and he's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, because wrestling is all about entertainment value. If you're looking at the sports athletic side or like, oh, pure wrestling and everything like that, then go watch NCAA wrestling or go watch the NFL or, with the athleticism and everything. But wrestling is about storytelling and entertaining. And I'm very much entertained by Orange Cassidy's gimmick, in-ring performance, and everything along those lines.
No shit, because you are the tightest fucking person with money, and you're wearing an OC shirt. The fact that you bought an OC shirt tells me that guy's over in your household. Let me tell you something, everybody. Behind the curtain, behind the camera, Chris does not fucking spend money to save his life. All right, this kid will eat a piece of bread if he has $100 in his pocket because he doesn't want to spend it. All right,
I'll fold it in half and I'll have a sandwich.
Dude, this fucking guy, man, is so tight with money. I swear to God. So anyway, so we move into Alex.
And when we go to football games, like if there's one game, 2 home games back to back, I'll buy a lot of beer to tailgate with the first week, and if we don't drink half of it, I'll bring the rest of it the second week.
I've seen it. It's skunked. It's disgusting.
If you take it right out of the cooler and put it in my mini fridge right away, it's perfectly fine.
I think our boy Mike's gonna throw a flag. It's just gonna poop.
It's gonna land on his big toe.
All right, so we move into Alex Marvez standing outside the Young Bucks locker room. Now I'm gonna do a replay for you guys on what Alex Marvez did. It's the fucking worst camera work I've ever seen. This guy looks fake knocking on a fucking door. Like, seriously, why does he knock and then turn around and look at the camera? And then knocks again and turns around and look in the camera again. I don't know, guys. They won't open the door. But then the Bucks do open the door, finally, after about 4.5 knocks of this fake shit that I've seen. And they super kick Alex Marvez. So, like, I need to understand. You have super kicks to Marvez, and the super kicks are coming from the executive vice presidents of your company. Does that make sense to you? Your EVP is putting their hands on talent, backstage talent. Not even wrestlers, backstage talent. What? I don't see fucking Pat Patterson walk around super kicking fucking Charlie Caruso in her fucking mouth.
Well, because, I mean, he's dangling on.
You get what I'm saying. You understand it.
I actually love it. The reason why I love it is because the fact that you're getting the old Japan Bucks, and I see where they're going with the storylines. Like, could Tony Khan be more on as a TV character, or could or you could, and like Tony Khan be more of a TV character, and then you have Eric Bischoff-esque, Hulk Hogan-esque with the Bucks, where they're like, we're EVPs, we can do whatever we want. Because again, another thing, it went right to BTE. They got fined $5,000 each. On a scene on BTE, they're walking down the hallway. They point at a sign that says Tony Khan's dressing room. They open the door. Tony Khan's not in there. They take their wad of money and they show the camera and they unwrap it and they just throw it into the room, and it's just like it rains money in the room, and they just close the door and walk away.
We mentioned that, and I said from the beginning, it's only a matter of time before Tony Khan shows his face on this show. Every wrestling show needs the bad guy that has power. That's what makes your good guy.
Well, I don't think Tony Khan's going to be a bad guy. I think he's going to be a good guy. And then you're going to have the Bucks be the bad guys. They'll be the Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan. It's where Tony Khan's going to need like the white meat baby face, where that could be Kenny Omega or it could be Adam Page.
I like it. I can't see Tony Khan on TV.
I don't think he's going to be like every week on TV. It'll kind of be like kind of like Steven Regal. Only comes out to announce like, oh hey, there's gonna be a big match here, or this, that, and not like an every week on screen talent.
Yeah, well, every promoter. I mean, you go all the way back to Jim Herd. Jim Herd was the bad guy promoter that nobody liked.
He was the fucking Candyman.
Vince McMahon, Eric Bischoff. Obviously, those are the two that everybody knows. There's always that. Somehow the promoter becomes the dick backstage. So I don't know. I
Jim
personally,
Cornette. Jim Cornette told Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen in ROH that he's too fat to be on TV, and
mm-hmm.
paid him for a year to stay home.
Yep. I
This is
mean,
coming from the same guy that eats double cheeseburgers, extra mayonnaise, extra onions from Wendy's. He said
exactly.
a talent is too fat, that he'll never get over. Owens 4 or 5 years ago was the most over thing in WWE.
Oh, beating up John Cena.
In his first
Was he
match on Raw. Like,
making his son cry? Like, I don't know if people understand this. Kevin Owens beat up his son's favorite wrestler. If that's not the greatest story I've ever heard in my life.
right.
Before we move into our next promo,
Mm-hmm.
which is Kip Sabian, so stay tuned. I need to talk to you about BTE because I heard that Michael knock it the fuck off was out there with grease and baby oil, and that is who botched Matt Seidel's big
Well,
appearance.
I think it was just it's not real. It was just
Obviously, they're turning it
yeah,
into a storyline, but it's Michael Nakazawa, who's 45 years old and is Kenny Omega's personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
So
He
I
actually
guess he's the
taught.
one.
The reason why he's Kenny Omega's personal assistant is he was actually, when Kenny Omega first went to Japan, he's the one. He was like his assistant there because Michael Nakazawa knew English and he knew Japanese, so he actually was the translator, and he actually helped Kenny Omega learn Japanese.
No, that's cool. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
so
personally
it's
don't
kind
have
of
an
like he
issue with
owed
Michael
him.
Nakazawa. Yeah,
But how awesome was it that they took a botch
and they turned it into a
and
storyline.
bro, it's
amazing. They did great with it. I don't even watch BT, and that's all I saw this week was about Michael Nakazawa doing that on BTE to roll the. I got a notification AEW turns botch into storyline, and my first thought was, okay, who greased the turnbuckle on Seidel? Because that
and it
was the
was
only botch
so
I
great.
remember.
It was so great. Like, the whole scenes where like Nakazawa walks into the locker room and they're writing they're writing the casino battle royale. This is obviously after the battle royale, the all out. They're writing the battle royale on a piece of aluminum foil. Like,
what?
They're just they're making fun of themselves so like hard. And Michael Nakazawa was like, oh, okay, where am I entering in at? And they're like, well, it's already booked solid. And they're like, well, there's a Joker spot. Who's the Joker spot? And they're like, not you. And like, why would we put you on TV? And they go, this is an AEW Dark.
Who said that?
The Young Bucks said, like, this is an AEW Dark.
Oh,
like,
that's awesome.
And they were like, oh, the Joker is Matt Seidel. And he goes, okay. He goes, you watch this battle royal. He goes, you'll see what I got. And the next scene is him out there, and he's dumping the lotion on the turnbuckle and rubbing it in.
And they even got the right turnbuckle, which is awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
And they go to the clip of him falling down, and then the next clip is Nakazawa walking into the locker room, the EVP locker room, and they had turned the TV off, and Kenny Omega's pissed. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm sick to my stomach. That just ruined our pay-per-view, blah, 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 blah. And Nakazawa was like, did you see the impact I made? And they're like, what are you talking about? Matt Seidel almost died in the ring. And they're like, yeah, and he pulls out the fucking baby oil out of his head. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck. They throw him out. And then they make him go apologize to Matt Seidel. And he's like, Matt, I'm sorry. He's like, no, everyone has it. Everyone it's a slip. As long as I'm okay, I'm happy being in AEW, this, that, and he goes, but wait, what are you sorry for? He goes, I kind of greased the turnbuckle, and he shows him. And Matt Seidel's like, what? Why would you do it? And then all of a sudden, Nakazawa looks at the camera, and it's that whole, like, like the TikTok thing where it's like, run. And then, like, Michael Nakazawa, he runs down the hallway, and Matt Seidel's chasing him. It was actually very well done. It was very, very well done.
Good. So we're going to get into our next promo, and that is Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford in the ring with Mr. none other than, you want to say his name?
Tony Schiavone. Actually, happy belated birthday to Penelope Ford. It was last night.
Were you her birthday present? Did you give her a mustache ride?
I popped out of a cupcake.
Something popped out of the cupcake.
Mm-hmm.
So Kip Sabian is with Penelope Ford in the ring with Schiavone. Kip is
First off, he
going
calls
to.
him Tommy. He's like, Tommy, get out of the ring.
Did he call him Tommy? I
Yeah, he
didn't
called
catch
him
that.
Tommy.
That's awesome. Kip's going to announce his best man, and you know who comes out? Puff. I don't know who the fuck Puff is, but Puff isn't the best man. And
Great
then
physique.
great physique, looks amazing. Brian Pillman comes out, and I have a problem with this. They made Brian Pillman look like a fucking asshole. They really did. He looked like a fucking D-bag standing out there. And apparently Kip Sabian texting him, hey, you're the best, comma, man. And then he goes, I've only been saying that because you're annoying and, like, you're bothering me or also. And it's like, dude, every time I see Brian Pillman on AEW TV, I'm just like, please, God, re-sign with MLW and go back down there.
Well, he's still under contract with them, so it's like they're very limited what they could do with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, but don't make him look like a piece of shit. At least just stick him on Dark and have him be the king of Dark.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
But then you're making him look like a prick on Wednesdays.
Right.
To the world.
I mean, who else would they do it to? Like, that's the thing.
Brandon Cutler? I don't fucking know. Michael Nakazaki? I don't give a shit.
He's on Dark too. They're both on Dark. Like, that's the.
I don't care. Just Brian Pillman, I feel like, deserves so much more. He has the physique. He has the look. He has everything he needs to be a big name in this business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brian Pillman is the name he needs. He just threw Junior at the end of it. It looks even better. I don't know. I guess I have so much respect for Pillman every time I see this shit. Like, it kind of reminds me, if they stuck Brian Pillman Jr. in the ring next week with a pencil, it would be the greatest thing ever. And watch him wrestle a pencil, just like his dad did. So, I mean, you remember how he got tossed around from WCW to ECW to WWF? So,
He got over in ECW and didn't even have a match.
Yeah.
It's like Stone Cold. Stone Cold never had a match in the ECW, and he was the most over before he became Stone Cold. Before he became the ringmaster.
Yeah. So anyway, so it moves into, it's not Puff, it's not Brian Pillman Jr., so that leaves one person, and that is Miro, formerly known as Rusev.
It's Miro Day.
Yeah, but they start with Rusev Day.
Mm.
I don't get it. You got comments on this shit? Go right ahead.
I love the promo that he gave. That was the most, I think, influential promo that I've ever heard Rusev or Miro make, where he's talking about going up and grabbing that brass ring. He says, I don't give a shit about your brass ring. You can shove it up your ass.
Your ass. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like it was a really good promo, but because that was legit. That was real.
Yeah. I feel bad for Lana. Her life's going to fucking suck now.
It's like Renee Young. It's the same way as Renee Young.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And then he plugs his Twitch. Of all things, follow me. I am the best gamer. I am the best in this ring. You watch me beat up person after people after person after people.
I just don't like his yellow hair.
He looks like Dominic grew up. Remember Dominic? I sent you the meme. It was Dominic Mysterio when he was like 8 years old in the ring, fat and had blonde hair. And then they show Miro with blonde. It's like twins.
He reminds me of a fat version of Josh Koscheck, the UFC fighter.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Koscheck with his little afro.
Yeah. His little curly afro.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Oh, drugs are, cocaine's a hell of a drug, so.
Was that what it was?
I don't know. He wasn't very good. He was not.
Well, no. I mean, the only person he could beat up was Diego Sanchez. That was it. That was the only person he could ever beat up.
Yeah, that's it. And, I mean, they fought 3 times, and I think he only beat him once, so. The other one went to a draw, and I think Diego got the last one.
Yeah. So, rubber match. Put him in a cage. 3 stages of hell.
Oh, speaking of cage, by the way.
Go ahead.
So I watched ICW last Thursday.
Okay. This is why you didn't answer my phone call.
Alex Ocean was in a match.
Ooh.
And it was a pit fighter match. So it was a UFC cage, and he wrestled Danny D'Amato.
Okay.
Alex Ocean got injured.
Ocean got injured. How bad?
To where they had to stop the match. And it was his knee. He came out the next night on Friday. He was supposed to wrestle Brandon Kirk. He came out in street clothes and says, I woke up, my knee was in throbbing pain. I can't wrestle tonight. That he is going to get it checked out when he gets home. So I reached out to him today on Twitter to see how his knee was doing. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. So,
damn.
Yep.
That's crazy, man.
It was actually a pretty sick bump. Danny put him out, put a table between, like braced in between two chairs, laid Alex Ocean out on the door. Then Danny D'Amato went to it was like a bird's nest, like a kind of like a, it was in like a horse stable, and there was like a loft, and he didn't even like sit at the and like point to the crowd, get the crowd hyped up. He ran and leaped off of it, and it was probably
holy shit
20 feet up in the air, and I think all of his body weight landed on Ocean's like lower body, and I think it crushed his knee.
Damn.
Yeah. So T's and P's to Alex Ocean.
T's and P's.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Damn, that's crazy, dude. That boy Alex. That's nuts, man. I hope he's all right. I really do.
Yeah.
So anyway, Skiavone, our next segment after Miro debuts and says he's all elite. Skiavone sits down with Adam Page, and for some reason Adam Page says he feels like he's poisoned, but him and Kenny are not done as a tag team. I hate to break it to you, bud, but Kenny has different thoughts. So next we
It reminds me of like a husband and wife that are on either Jerry Springer or Maury Povich, and like they both interview him separately, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're perfectly fine." And they're like, "No, I've been sucking your boyfriend, your best friend's dick for like 6 years." So like,
wait, who's sucking whose dick? Is it Kenny? Is Kenny the one? It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Jesus, cut me some slack. Gosh. Put a pickle in it, will you? That's what Kenny does. So Jericho and Sonny Kiss versus Hager or Janela. I'm sorry, Janela. I'm all fucking distorted now.
I like how you just slid that one in there right in the Sonny Kiss.
Nothing's going into Sonny Kiss. You calm down, sir. Janela versus Sonny or Janela. Fuck, man, I can't even get it out. Can you take over, please?
Well,
stop. Be professional. Now it's perfect time, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not following us, make sure you guys follow us on right here. Follow, like, and subscribe to this video. Make sure you swallow us on YouTube, on Twitter, at Podcast Spirit Out. I'm waiting for you, man.
So now we got
I'm completely sober, I swear.
Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Match did nothing for me.
Nothing?
No, it did nothing. Like, it did nothing. Like,
it didn't tickle your pickle?
It did nothing in this match tickle my pickle. Jericho came off one of the hottest angles in Dynamite in recent months. Now you're going to form a tag team with Jake Hager.
But this has always been a kind of this Joey Janela and Jericho thing's been going on for like 3 weeks now. They've kind of overlapped it in the Orange Cassidy feud.
No, yeah, and I understand that, but I don't know.
I get you. I understand, Papa.
Yeah, I think that's the only way that they can get them in as a tag team, like to develop a tag team, is if you put them in a tag team match. That's the only way.
Dude, did you see the spot where Jericho dropped fucking Janela on the leg of the chair? Like the
he suplexed him.
Dude, what the fuck, man? These
Janela
guys, I'm telling you,
some bumps, man.
Fuck that. I'm telling you, man, this show is so irresponsible. Like, you look at the fucking table, or remember 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. 2 weeks ago, Hardy and Guevara tables match. The chair set up underneath it. What are these guys trying to fucking paralyze each other? One jar to the back like that on the edge of that chair, you're done. You're not walking. You can't even wipe your own ass anymore.
You know what's great is we're talking about Janela now, and I just mentioned about the Alex Ocean Danny D'Amato match um, on Thursday. After the match was called, they both crawled into the ring, and Danny got on the mic and was congratulating Alex and saying, yes, we're both injured, but I know you'll come back. This and the other. Um, he goes, your fighting style is like that guy from Jersey, the old bad boy. They gave him a shot. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
All right. We talked about this with him.
Yes.
We talked about this with him personally.
And I popped because of the fact that he talked about it with us. We've seen his videos at No Peace Underground, how he calls out Joey Janela and everything like that. And just for him to come out and say, you remind me of the old bad boy from Jersey. I'm like, I was like a 3-year-old kid. I'm like, oh my gosh, he broke that on our show. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Did you find it interesting that Janela and Kiss controlled about 79.5% of this match?
Yeah, because they're pushing for him.
Yeah, they controlled the whole thing. It felt like so.
Mm-hmm.
But Hager, they get the win with Jericho. He says that him and Hager, they cut a promo that him and Hager are going to be going after the titles now. So we're going to see where that goes. Definitely see where it goes. Where do you rank this in the Thrasher household?
3 stars.
3 stars.
Yeah,
God, you're about as good as Dave Meltzer, bro.
It's only because Jericho and Janela were in it. That's it.
Jericho, you're saying. All right, gotcha.
Well, I mean, if any match that Janela is in, whether it's here or in Japan, it's a 5-star match all day. But Hager was in it and Sonny Kiss was in it, so it's got to bring down the rating a little bit. So
let me tell you something. If you ever say some stupid shit like that again, I will walk off the show.
Joey Janela is the best wrestler walking this great
Peace.
earth.
No,
the only reason why I say that is because Friday he had 5 root canals done. Saturday night he wrestled for GCW.
Bro, take care of your fucking teeth, you maggot. What's wrong with you, bro? 5 root canals? How fucking often do you brush?
The same day he had 5.
How often do you brush? What?
I was so gnarly. I'm like, and then here's the thing. Saturday midday, he was fucking eating like peanut M&Ms.
Dog, let me ask you a question, Chris. Let me ask you a question. You are impressed that he had 5 root canals done in one day.
Mm-hmm.
You're not questioning the fact that why he has to get 5 root canals.
No, I can care less.
This guy doesn't fucking have hygiene.
Doesn't bother me.
No wonder Enzo was trying to knock him the fuck out. Sorry, I still side with Enzo Amore in all this.
Yeah, he needs that one fan.
Hey, bro, stay off my dog Enzo, all right? The real one. All right? You got something to say? You there? I know you're there. What are you doing? All right, so little technical difficulties here. We're gonna see if we can figure out what's going on with Chris right now. You there, buddy? We're gonna see what's going on. So let's continue, I guess. Oh, all right, we lost Chris. Let's see what happened. See if we can get Chris going. Anyway, so yeah, I just personally myself, I'm not a fan of Hager or a fan of Janela like that. You there? We're still live, pal.
It was frozen on my end.
It was frozen. Should I reinvite you back in? What do you think, guys? Think should we bring Chris back?
Hold on one second.
I think we should bring Chris back. So anyway, and I don't want to get more into the show. I'm gonna wait for Chris to get back. But overall, for me, AEW has been, they put out okay matches, and maybe they put $1 million up this week, but this week wasn't their best week at all. It was far from it, their best week. And they still put $1 million up. It's crazy to me. After every pay-per-view, it seems like they have more and more. Oh, hey, we got Chris. Is that Chris? He's back. He's connected. We'll see in a sec. Every week they have, after every pay-per-view, it feels like they have such a great show and the ratings are there. I just feel like this wasn't the show that deserved 1 million views. 1 million viewers. This wasn't the show that deserved 1 million viewers. If you want to talk about a show that deserved 1 million viewers, you got to go back like 3 or 4 weeks. There was plenty of good shows out there, but this wasn't the one. But even this one, not. And this is the bad part about it, Chris. And this is what I was telling people. This wasn't the show that they should have got 1 million views on. And what scares me is those 1 million viewers that watched this show. What if they weren't impressed by this show? Now you're just going to go back to your 600,000-700,000 next week.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like they always say that they're expecting big audiences after their pay-per-views. Why not go for a better show? Because obviously Tony Khan watched this, and Tony Khan knew this wasn't the best product they could put out.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking like a jackass, but you're saying right, so that makes me feel better. Glad to have you back, my friend. Went through the paradox, did you? Ooh.
It was. You're frozen. You were frozen like this. You're like.
You were frozen like that too.
It was the gnarliest
I took a picture of it. You were like.
It was so crazy.
So we're gonna move into the MJF promo. MJF's promo, he goes basically and fires the entire campaign team. And then him and Wardlow kind of get into it. But then MJF says something that I didn't really know. Well, obviously it's kayfabe, but MJF signs the checks for Wardlow, not Tony Khan. This is where I think they can play off the storyline of having Tony Khan maybe be that on-air kind of guy. And what if Wardlow's that guy for him? The muscle. Hey, Wardlow, we don't need MJF to sign your checks. I'll sign your checks, and maybe I'll add another 0 on there for you as well.
Right.
So, I don't know. I see a lot with Wardlow. I see a lot with I see a lot of potential and a lot of future storylines that can work very well with Wardlow. He's young. He could be, and there's never going to be another Brock Lesnar, but he could be that Brock Lesnar-esque character for AEW.
He reminds me too much of Raquel Gonzalez.
How?
Green? Really green, yeah.
So hide his moveset. Do what you do with Bill Goldberg. Have him having 1-minute squash matches all the way through. Build him up, But it all starts with Khan. That whole dropping the hint of Tony Khan doesn't sign your checks, I do kind of thing from MJF. That's your seed. That's where you plant Wardlow to be more of Khan's monster kind of thing. And once Tony Khan has his monster, which can be Wardlow, you can go with that so many ways. Right. So many ways. Maybe that's just me. I'm a huge fan of Wardlow. I think he's great. So what do you think of Wardlow? I mean, you say he reminds you of Raquel Gonzalez, but like you've been watching wrestling as long as me, if not longer than me. You remember a lot of the older stuff that I don't. I've smoked myself away retarded. It sucks. But I don't remember a lot of the 90s. You remember Razor Ramon very vividly. I don't. I remember Razor Ramon, little pieces here and there.
I still can't figure out why he had movie tickets on his wrestling trunks.
Hey, yo, man.
I know what you're going to ask me. You're going to ask me, like, compare him to someone like...
Not even compare him, but what are your thoughts on him? Do you see him being that next big thing for AEW? Can he be their homegrown talent, that gem?
No.
No. Why not?
The only way I can compare Wardlow is he reminds me of the Wall from WCW.
The wall that whatchamacallit fell through.
No,
Oh,
the wrestler, the Wall.
again, vividly, I do not remember the wall.
He was basically like a hardcore wrestler. He then in like 2002 he showed up on NWA TNA. I think his name was Malachi.
Malachi. Okay, I remember Malachi.
No, Malachi was the white with the white beard and everything. It started with an M. Might have been Mizraki or something like that. But
Michinoku Driver.
no. But it was the Wall. Because then remember he was in like the Filthy Animals or something like that, or where it had like Major Guns, and it had Rey Mysterio, Conan. Then it was like Hugh Morris. It was Huge Erection. Then you had Lieutenant AWOL. That was the Wall. His moveset was very limited. He was a big guy. He was like 6'6", 6'5". Big guy. His moveset was, and that's what Wardlow reminds me of.
You know, it's funny. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, and you just brought up humorous.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember another one from back in the day that was in WCW and went to WWF? Do you remember the guy? Do you know what I'm talking about? Was in WCW, was a jobber, became the biggest name in WWF or WWE today, and basically runs the company.
Yeah, terrorizing.
Terrorizing. That was such a great name. Such a great name.
Spelled completely different. Like
Yeah.
Terrorizing.
You know what the crazy part? Like terrorizing.
Pat My Groin is probably the best.
Pat My Groin is the best one.
Yeah.
Who gave us that? Botavian, right?
Yeah.
Pat My Groin was amazing.
It would have been great if you hit the pops and the pops fell and knocked the belt off. I would have ended the night. I would have been like, I'm done.
We still have 30 minutes of show. So we move into a promo. All right, so you don't believe in I truly believe in Wardlow. I think he is the gem. I think he's the talent. And I think that Wardlow is going to be the first. You know what? No, I'm going to ask you this question because that's never mind. That's really far-fetched. Who's going to be the first non-WWE guy to hold a major title in AEW?
Orange Cassidy.
What title?
TNT.
He's going to be Brody Lee.
Mm-hmm. Or someone's going to beat Brody Lee, and then he'll beat that person.
So you're telling me we have to go through 2 more reigns before we get an AEW talent?
Mm-hmm.
Does that not fuck with you at all?
No.
Like, I find it funny because people always tell me, oh, well, Brody Lee wasn't – that the first place he wrestled wasn't WWE. Okay, but he was established in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Moxley under Dean Ambrose was established in WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin was established in WWE. You know, these wrestlers were established in that company. They made them what they are.
Now, what about Lance Archer? He started
Lance
in
Archer
WWE.
was established in NGP, New Japan.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He started in WWE, was established in New Japan. Brian Cage started Indies, wrestled in Japan, then got established in Impact, then came to AEW.
Okay, so why are they putting a fake title on Brian Cage?
Because he's the baddest man on the planet.
And I don't mean it in any disrespect. It's not a fake title. We all love – me and you both love Taz.
Mm-hmm.
We both love the FTW belt. We both popped like old girls when that thing came out. Because I knew what was in the fucking bag right away. You knew what was in the bag. But no, like I want to see a established AEW talent such as MJF or OC. I don't care if it's Orange Cassidy. I just want to see somebody from that company who has not wrestled in WWE be a champion.
Name me the wrestlers that haven't wrestled in WWE.
Joey Janela's never wrestled in WWE. Michael Nakazawa's never wrestled in WWE.
Oh, so you're going through dark wrestlers now.
Okay. Kenny Omega. No,
Yes,
he
he has.
wrestled in NXT.
Mhm.
Adam Page.
Okay.
All right. MJF.
Okay.
Wardlow.
Okay.
Smash Bros, aka Dark Order right now.
Mm-hmm. But you're
I
not
mean,
splitting those up.
But they could have held the titles. They could have been tag team champions.
Well, you just said individuals. You didn't say tag team.
Okay, so individuals. I mean, there's. Can you name me them? Because I'm
Okay.
on the spot. I suck on the spot. Go ahead.
You got Hangman. You got MJF. You got Scorpio Sky. You got Frankie Kazarian.
Has Daniels ever wrestled in WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Has
Yeah,
he
tryout
really?
matches on Sunday Night Heat. He wrestled.
But is a tryout match established
It
in
was still,
WWE?
but it was still he wrestled for WWE. That was the thing. He wrestled for WWE. Ricky Starks, Darby Allin, Brian Cage.
And you're telling me none of these guys are good enough to put a title on? Let's
Would
make
you have
Dean Ambrose. What was Brody Lee's name in wrestling in WWE? Luke Harper and the Revival, the champs.
Now here's my thing: is it's a jab. That's all it is. It's a jab at WWE. It's like these guys you couldn't put them over, but we're gonna make them champs. They're over on our show.
Every person who's held an AEW title, aside from the women's, and aside from Hangman Page, has been in WWE.
Mhm.
Your 2 TNT champions were established in WWE. Your 2 heavyweight champions, I'm going to say Dean was established. Jericho was established in ECW, I would say.
He got over in ECW. I think he was more prominent in WCW and WWE.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know. I just want to see a homegrown talent hold one of these titles. That's just I don't agree with the way it's going. But hey, I don't run a $1 million company.
But I think you're wording that wrong because homegrown talent would mean that they would trained from them.
Okay, not homegrown talent, but a non ex WWE guy.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see. So you have a Mox promo on Archer, and he's basically saying, "Don't bet against him. Don't count him out." Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we know where this match is going. They're gonna put Eddie Kingston in there, and Eddie Kingston's gonna take the pin, making Archer still look strong.
Right.
FTR. Ooh. Wait, I just thought of something. What if you have that 3-way dance for the title? You have Mox, Archer, and Kingston. Maybe you have Brian Cage interfere and take Archer out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Or Wardlow.
No, I don't think Wardlow.
No, not so much Wardlow. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, he's gonna go into a storyline with MJF.
All right. So I started good and I became a jackass. Sorry.
Right. No, I just think because Brian Cage with Taz and Jake Roberts have like a little beef. The war words and everything like that.
Makes sense. And, yeah, it makes sense. It
Mm-hmm.
would definitely be nice to see. You know who I would love to see 2 managers going at it? I think now this is fantasy booking, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar versus Taz and Brian Cage. I think the showdown of the managers going back and forth would be really cool to watch with Paul Heyman and Taz. I like that. I think that would be cool. Jake the Snake gives us that little, thing, but you can only do that so many times.
Right. Paul Heyman's the same way. Let me tell you something, sir.
But every time Paul's on TV, you're tuned. You
Not
may
really.
not be, but the average fan is.
Right.
The average fan is tuned in when Paul talks. It's just like you don't give a fuck when Brock Lesnar's coming out. But if they tell you, hey, Brock Lesnar's going to be at this pay-per-view May 25th, guess what you're doing May 25th? You're watching the pay-per-view to see Brock Lesnar loses. Everyone wants to see the top guy fall. And right now, that's the way I feel with Mox. I want to see Mox fall. So anyway, so we're gonna move on really quick. We're gonna try to get through this. FTR with Tully in the ring. There's a promo here. At one point, Tully calls Dax Cash and calls Cash Dax, which is always fun to see. You always like to see those get mixed up. Basically, they grab the microphones and go through and they call out SCU, telling them if they were still in their prime, that would be a good match. They look over a private party and they go, nah, never mind. And then I guess they're facing Jungle Express next week. So, but it's not for the titles.
Right.
So Jungle Express gets in the ring, blah, blah. I don't know. Oh, whoa. And then they call out Billy Gunn. I forgot about this. They call out Austin and Billy. Austin Gunn and
Billy and Austin Gunn.
There you go. That's what
That's the workaround.
Yeah.
That's the workaround. And he goes, hey, look, just because you're in some second-rate Hall of Fame. That was a good little shot there. Very nice shot. Very nice shot. It's little things like that I like when they shoot the shots at WWE. I don't like Cody Rhodes going out with a sledgehammer and smashing a chair. I like the little snippets like that. You're in some second-rate Hall of Fame. We all know who they're all talking about. He's talking about WWE. So anyway, so the segment ends with somehow Cash is bleeding on his hand. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
It was a little weird. I don't know where that cut came from, but it looked pretty gnarly. There was a lot of red there. What'd you think of this segment?
It didn't need to go the way it did.
No. I thought it was funny how they all ended up eating cake in the ring, all the tag teams. Like, oh, okay.
I think everyone can see where it's going. It's a non-title match next week, so we know that there's going to be interference. Omega and Paige are going to interfere, or Paige by himself is going to interfere, and everything like that, and they're going to get their rematch.
There you go. All right, so now we're going to move in. Chris has laid it down, bro. You heard it here, folks. I mean, Chris told you what it is.
Right. See, and these next two segments, I could have done without.
Taz on commentary reviewing what happened at All Out, and then out comes Starks dressed as Darby.
Yeah. Could have done without.
I know you could do without it. That's fine. But please just admit to me how great Ricky Starks has been in this company.
When he's dressed like Darby Allin, you're going to tell me he doesn't look like the kid that on Tosh.0 when he dressed like the zombie and he was like, I like turtles.
I like turtles. I know you're talking. Yeah. You're right.
He looks like if a kid was grown up, he's like, I like turtles. I hate Darby Allin. I hope Darby Allin dies.
Jesus Christ. No, man. I like Ricky Starks. I think this feud's gonna go well with him. I think they need to stop this whole dressing up as Darby thing. It's getting a little boring really quick.
You know what? I love Ricky Starks as an athlete. I don't like his persona because he reminds me of the Wish version of The Rock.
I like the Absolute thing, though. I like that.
I do too, but it's just the way he looks because he tries to dress like The Rock and everything like that, but he just reminds me of the Wish version of The Rock.
I hear you. Yeah, like that Great Value version.
One-legged, he's going to kick your ass.
I'm not saying anything to you, Ocean. I'm not saying anything to you. You are not the Great Value version of anything. You are the superstar, Alex Ocean, which I love that I got to interview you. So thank you. So now we're going to move into Nyla Rose versus Tay Conti.
We don't need to.
We don't need to. Let me ask you a question, though. Wasn't Tay Conti just given Dark Order papers?
Yep. That's why I said we don't need to move into this.
Where was the Dark Order for this?
Sheeta came in and made a save as Nyla Rose was beating her down. Yeah, I don't need to see this.
You got it. So anyway, so we move into our second to last segment. We'll call this the co-main event. JR sits down with Kenny Omega. He shoots a promo on losing the belts and Hangman and him splitting. Kenny has his own dreams and goals, he says, and he's done with tag teams and he's going for singles. That's a lot different than what we heard from Paige. So I don't know where they're going with this. I mean, obviously we're gonna have Paige and Omega. What I've heard was after the match at after the three-way dance, remember how Mox showed up behind Kenny
Yeah.
at All Out a couple years ago or whatever it was? This company feels like it's been around forever now. How he stood behind him and all that. They're supposed to recreate that, but kind of switch spots. Have Kenny be behind Mox and have Mox celebrating, and then Kenny
It was
attacks
double
him.
or nothing last year.
Was it double or nothing last year?
Yeah, because it was because that's when he did the paradigm shift on top of the poker chips.
So I feel like we're gonna get that. I've read on a couple things that we're gonna get that, but in reverse, where it's gonna be
The cleaner.
Omega, the cleaner behind Mox. So who knows? The cleaner might be the first guy to take this title off of Mox. I don't know. It might be billed that way. I don't think Mox needs the title. I really don't. I don't know if that's just me. Like, how do you feel on that? Do you think Mox needs the title?
I think if Mox loses the heavyweight championship, I think he takes the TNT title off Brody Lee. And then you have Orange Cassidy beat Mox.
Or would this be the perfect time to have a tournament and have Mox? Is this the time to be a tournament and introduce that new belt? No.
Sorry, I was yawning. No,
it's cool, Mike Tyson. It's cool.
No, I don't think this is the right time for it.
All right. So anyway, let's move into our main event, and that is Mr. Brody Lee versus Blue Dust.
Well, you have to say Moxley and Archer was announced for October 14th episode of Dynamite for the title.
It's a 1v1, but I promise you it's gonna be a 3-way by the end of this. By the end of the month, it'll be a 3-way match. So anyway, Blue Dust versus Brody Lee. Personally, this match makes no sense to me, and I got into an argument with a bunch of AEW fanboys on this. Everybody tells me, well, Cody, he defended the title so much, and he's really hurt. He's injured ribs and all this, and I'm like, so Cody defended the title for 3 months in a row, and you guys think, oh, he's just worn out? I know you hate WWE, but you got to give credit to Seth Rollins. That guy went for a full year, 3 nights a week, house shows, Raw, Smack, everything, for a full year. And you're telling me Cody's worn out after 3 months. He gets squashed in a 3-minute match, but Dustin and Brody, and Dustin's 20 years older than Cody, and Dustin and Brody get 15 minutes. Well, I understand the storyline. I just don't like it.
What I love is, first off, I like the match. I thought the match was pretty good. Storyline-wise, I didn't like it. But the only reason why Cody's off TV now is because he's filming something with Stephen Amell, and he's also on a TV show now on TBS with my favorite comedian, Brooke Fisher.
Hosted by your boy. I put that in my notes. I said Chris is gonna, in my notes, I put Chris is gonna pop for his boy Bert Schlerzer, whatever his fucking name
Kreischer.
Yeah, that one.
And it's him, Snoop Dogg, Rosario Dawson, and somebody else.
Can I tell you how many times I beat it to Rosario Dawson? My phone got a virus for me trying to look at her boobs.
Beat her with a stick. I don't see what anyone sees in her.
Dude, I don't know. I love her to death. She's so hot.
She's no Anna Kendrick.
Have you ever seen Clerks 2?
Yes.
There's a part in the movie where she's dancing around and she's not wearing a bra, so everything's just fucking going. And I'm in the movie that I'm like, yeah.
You never go ATM.
Never go ATM. You always go ATM. Overall, I thought the match was good. I didn't like the storyline of it, but I thought the match was good, like you said. They immediately go to the outside. And then what kills me is when they come around and they sacrifice Silver. Why do you keep sacrificing John Silver? I love this guy. What are you guys doing to this man? And let it be known, I bought an AEW shirt, my first one from the AEW, or no, I had to buy, where did I buy it?
Pro Wrestling Tees.
Pro Wrestling Tees. The Chili's. With,
that's what I think AEW is hitting it's really hitting the ground running with it, is their AEW shop is tied to Pro Wrestling Tees so that the wrestlers still get the cut to where it's not under their, umbrella. They still get their cut. and then nothing changes from whether they're selling their independent shirts or their AEW shirts. It's still, I think that's
and
awesome.
I've looked into pro wrestling tees
Mm-hmm.
for us as well, and I know you have as well too. We have to do our shit behind the scenes, obviously, but I think it's like a 70-30 cut with pro
Right.
wrestling tees. They get like 30%, and the person who owns the logo or whatever gets 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they make the shirts and they send out the shirts.
I mean, we have a sweatshop that does it, so it's fine.
My wife hates us. Speaking of which, we have a new logo coming, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. All right?
Deal with that.
Now, can you? That's what I was thinking when I was doing it. You gonna milk me, fucker? I got tits. So anyway, I said Cody hits Chris's favorite move, but it was Dustin.
Yeah.
It's the Canadian Destroyer. And then he pulls the punches on the second rope. I know you were just like, oh, this is awesome wrestling. Because he didn't do 10, he didn't do 15, he did 20.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
It's Will Austin's favorite move, man. So and
sweep
then,
the legs. Just sweep the legs out from under him.
Did you notice as well the ref was in every fucking part of this match? He was in the way. Every time Brody turned around, he had to push the ref. Every time Dustin turned around, he had to push the ref out of the way. He was like, what the fuck? Get away from me. And then Brody hits Blue Dust with the old Kevin Nash powerbomb, pull him up, just throw him down kind of thing, which I like seeing that. I think that's a great move, and we don't see it often anymore at all because there's not really too many big guys that can do it. And then after that, Brody goes for the pin, and the crowd starts chanting, he kicked out. He kicked. When did that fucking become a chant?
Right.
When did he kicked out become a chant? This is what bugs me about some AEW fans. They're just too into it, man. I get it.
I mean, look at wrestling fans in general. I mean, like when it's a 2 count, everyone in the whole fucking place goes 2.
I love that. I had a guy at one show kept turning around every time there was a 2 count. He looked me dead in the eyes and he was like 2, and he just looked at me and did this, and I was like, I know, I saw it. I saw it.
Or how about when it's like when the announcers are like, oh, this match is scheduled for 1 fall, and everyone repeats it. One fall. And it's like, come on, man, we just fucking heard that.
Well, my favorite one was in the summer of 2018. You had a stare down between Shinsuke and AJ Styles, and it was funny because every time, or I'm sorry, it was AJ and Finn. Anytime someone kicked out and the ref did 2, everybody goes sweet, too sweet. So that was always fun to see. But anyway, so at the end you have Brody win with a discus lariat. Out comes Dark Order. And they have QT Marshall out cold over Stu, Don't Call Me Dick Grayson. And then Cabana gets in the ring. And this is a little interesting to me because Brody Lee starts like shoving Cabana out and kicks him out of the ring, out of Celebrations. You still with me, Mike? Mike Tyson over here. Falling asleep holding the belt. Nah, we're running late tonight. So we're going to get this going. But yeah, Cabana gets kicked out by Brody Lee, which is a little interesting to me. That's a story. I don't know where that storyline's going. Is there anything on BTE about that? Like, what's going on?
No, the only thing that's game story with Cole Cabana on BTE is when Brandon Cutler went up to Best Friends in Orange Cassidy and be like, hey, you guys need a skit for this week of BTE. And they were like, oh, we need to kill somebody. They wanted to kill Brandon Cutler, and they thought Brandon Cutler was in Kenny Omega's like office. So they snuck in and they turned the lights off and they stabbed the person and everything. Like,
who are these 2 people? Didn't you say Orange Cassidy?
It was Best Friends in Orange Cassidy.
Best Friends in Orange Cassidy wanted to kill somebody.
Yeah, they thought it would be a funny skit. And when they come out of the room, Brandon Cutler's walking towards me. Hey guys, what's up? And they're like, who did we just kill? Yeah, and it's Colt Cabana. He's coming out and he goes up to the doctor, and it's actually pretty funny. Actually, when you say it out loud, it's actually pretty funny. He's got his the next week on BT. That's how it ends that week. The next week on BT, his whole face and hands are wrapped up, and he's like, Doc, I need to talk to Samson. I need to talk to Samson. And they were like, Colt, we got all the Goldman off for you. Because when he was. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
it
like
was
that.
actually, when you say it out loud, it's actually very,
That's
very
really
funny.
so that's how the night ends. But there was no Anna Jay in the ring, I don't think. I didn't
No.
see Anna Jay. You see 10, you see 5, you see 7, you see the Smash Bros. No Anna Jay. So anyway, so that's how the night ends. I am looking forward to next week. There are some big weeks coming up for AEW, so hopefully their future shows are better. I have read on the dirt sheets that Miro is supposed to be like the new Mr. Perfect for AEW. So we're gonna see where that goes. I'm very interested in where that story builds to. All right, we'll check it out, man. But as far as this show, we appreciate everybody checking it out. Tonight has been a great night. Chris, overall thoughts. Close the show on AEW.
Could have been different. It was a good show, but it could have been different.
Yes, we said that plenty of times. This was not their best show, but man, they did do some good stuff. So that's a wrap for us. Make sure you like, subscribe this video. Make sure you swallow us on Twitter at Paradox, at Podcast Paradox, and be on the lookout for your brand new t-shirts coming at you, man. Hotter than a bowl out of the microwave with cold food inside. That is it. What do you think, Chris?
That was the stupidest analogy ever.